spices.
For the generation of 1914, for the lies, for the families that have been torn apart, for the shunning, this is for you.
Oh my God, dude. This is an ex-Jehovah's Witness, presumably, went to a Kingdom Hall and drank the wine on the memorial. Oh my God. It's Kingdom Hall crashing. We're going to watch a few of these, but I want to talk about what the memorial is real fast if you're unfamiliar because you're outside the religion. It's kind of like Jehovah's Witnesses Passover. It always happens like around Easter time. The idea is you go to the Kingdom Hall, and after sundown, you pass around wine and unleavened bread, the same way that like Jesus did, you know, eat this is my body in remembrance of me, drink this is my blood, so on and so forth. But only 144,000 people throughout history will ever drink that wine because they are what they call anointed, and anointed people are special, unique, chosen by God, will be raptured to heaven when the end comes to serve as angels, basically, beside Jesus, joint kings and priests, joint heirs to the throne. And all the normal people like us will live on a paradise earth. I only ever saw one person partake of the emblems, is what it's calling, drinking the wine or eating the bread. He was anointed or claimed to be anointed. There was an audible gasp when he ate them. Not that it was wrong. You don't need to clear it with anybody. You don't need to get permission or talk to anyone or whatever. If you're anointed, you're anointed. And it's something between you and God, and that's all there is to it. So anybody, literally anybody, can eat the bread or drink the wine. It just doesn't happen. It never happens. So the fact that this dude is drinking it is like so incredibly deeply jarring to everybody here. And if you notice, when he swings his hand around, someone tries to grab it from him. Watch this. It's solemn. It's supposed to be a silent observance.
Spices.
For the generation of 1914, for the lies, for the families that have been torn apart, for the shunning, this is for you. This is the covenant of Christ, and you guys are rejecting him. Don't you realize what's happening here?
Okay, now he's spreading quote-unquote false doctrine, what they would interpret to be false doctrine, and he has lost them. I think that sometimes people can kind of a little bit break through to Jehovah's Witnesses by talking about like the bad things about the religion, how destructive it is in some ways. But to talk about other denominations or to hint that they're denominationally incorrect, they've had, years to program in how denominationally correct Jehovah's Witnesses are versus like Catholics or whatever.
Have a good night. Please don't knock on my door anymore.
And so somebody.
Wow, maybe this guy wasn't an ex-Jehovah's Witness. Maybe he was just like a dude that decided to try this.
Wondered, would you use port or sherry? Not at all. It's not dry, red.
They're walking him out, and he's taking his sweet-ass time.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Sometimes you just gotta do something, Make a statement. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Wow, they're saying good night to him and shit. Wow, dude. That's just wild, right? Here, check out some of these other Kingdom Hall crashing events I've got. By the way, the algorithm is hitting me hard right now, completely ignoring me. So I'd appreciate if you watched to the end of the video. Having increased watch time as a percentage and a raw number is what pushes the video further. Also check out my books, owenmorgan.com. All right, back to the video. For the record, I don't think Kingdom Hall crashing is productive. I think that it does more harm than good, actually. I think people that are exposed to Kingdom Hall crashing, they lock themselves into this belief mentally even further every time somebody shows up and starts shouting out at a Kingdom Hall.
I'm going to this church, this religion, because I felt like I would be loved and accepted.
This is supposed to be dead silence. Women are not actually, this must be like a midweek meeting because they have the little setup there where women sometimes sit. Women are not supposed to be speaking out in this portion of the meeting under any circumstances ever.
The moment that I said I no longer shared your beliefs, I was shunned. I wasn't even
So
baptized.
this evening, brothers and sisters,
I don't understand why.
we look forward to our
You
meeting
won't
this
speak to
week.
me.
Give public belief we will.
And so
So,
we appreciate
I really don't feel like that was proper of any of you. If this is supposed to be a religion of love,
well, we all need refreshment this evening.
shunning me.
You know, when you think about the world in which we live in, we all need.
A lot of the time, I'm not sure what happens next, but they often come in groups. So one person will stand up and do the Kingdom Hall crashing thing, and then another, and it's like a continuous stream. Some dude over there filming, and he's in plain clothes. He's very clearly part of it, right? It seems.
To be refreshed.
Dear brothers and sisters,
So
I implore
when
you
you
to
think
please
about
listen.
Oh, it's a chick, and yeah, she is with it.
Please
the
listen to me.
things that
I
we
have some important
have
news
to
to share.
do and say,
Please listen.
it's really
You should
important.
research your religion
that
because there are
we
people being harmed by it. My mother
Continue
was a victim.
to
She actually died
able
from the
to-
ever-changing blood doctrine that you guys purport. She actually died at the tender age
Well,
of
as
only
we
32
continue
years
to
old. She was
look
also
forward to our
baptized in
meeting,
Wow, 32.
this religion at age
One
12
of the things
and
that
married
we-
at age 15.
we can appreciate.
Also,
is
there are
that,
children being abused and nobody is doing anything about it.
We hope that
The
this
elders,
meeting
they will
tonight
not report it.
refreshes us.
They will not do
When you think
anything.
about some of the highlights of tonight's meeting, what we look.
It's really hard to make out, but I think that she's saying her mom died at 32 because of blood transfusion denial, and there are kids being abused in the Kingdom Halls, I believe.
Look forward to. We look forward to treasure from God's word.
Sorry, 1,000 pedophiles and two
Highlight
we are
how
allowed to have
Jesus
need to pay attention
offered
to those children.
refreshment
Those
to
children are
us.
being harmed.
Yeah, like what do they do if they're just refusing to leave like this? The answer is they can't put their hands on them. When I was little at a convention, somebody crashed the convention like this, and the elders encircled them and locked arms and walked out with them in the center of the circle, walked out the front door. They can't do that in this situation, obviously. But I think they would probably call the police, and the police would have to come deal with this. That's wild, man.
And then
When we get to our digging for spiritual gems,
please also
we'll look for
go
the
to-
answers to this
Go
question.
to jwfacts.com.
It's why did John the Baptist
JWFacts.com, she says. Yeah, JWFacts is really, really good. Oh my God. I cited it a lot in my book as a primary source because they actually have original documents on that website. It's like really, really impressive. They have like scanned copies of all of the books and everything. Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses is what it was called. It's on Amazon if you're curious. But in the book, I talk about the child abuse situation. And the thing is with this, for this one issue, for example, like I don't think that Jehovah's Witnesses are uniquely predisposed to take advantage of children. They're not, obviously. Catholics are not uniquely predisposed to this. It's that these organizations protect the abusers by covering it up, by not reporting it to the police, by moving them from parish to parish in the case of Catholics to protect them from prosecution. And abusers know that. So they go in prepared to exploit that fact. That's the problem, really. Now, people raised this issue with Jehovah's Witnesses, with the governing body, and they didn't do anything for decades. They were sued for hundreds of millions of dollars to a point that the organization had to sell off their buildings and their complexes and everything and build new ones in a more remote area for even cheaper. Like, they're being sued out of existence right now because of all of this. So the heart of the issue was that there have to be two witnesses to a crime before the elders are allowed to report it, basically. They assume nothing happened, nothing, unless there are two witnesses or two victims to the same incident. Like the only way that somebody could be disfellowshipped or reported to the police within Jehovah's Witness doctrine is if a person abused a kid and another person was there to physically witness this happening. Now, this changed in 1990 or something like that to include two witnesses or two victims to separate events. Previously, it had to be the same event, two witnesses to the same event. And it led to people going to a kingdom hall, taking advantage of a kid when they're caught, leaving, or just leaving ahead of time, leaving after like a few months, going to a different kingdom hall, taking advantage of a kid, leaving. Because effectively it didn't happen if there was only one witness or one victim. So the elders don't even put it in their books. You move to a new kingdom hall and the new kingdom hall has no clue. This loophole was exploited for so long that it has cost Watchtower Society millions, hundreds of millions. So they fix it. They update it. In 2019, they changed it, I believe, 2019 or 2022, to basically say the elders will not explicitly advise people not to contact the police. If the parents of the victim want to contact the police, they are within their rights to do so. Because previously they discouraged people from calling the police even. Should leave it in Jehovah's hands. So they made that change. But I find it fascinating. The elders aren't supposed to call the police at all in this situation. They're not supposed to call the police. They're not supposed to get them involved because it's an outside authority, and the outside authorities are going to make lists of Jehovah's Witnesses and come knock on their door and take them to a concentration camp when the end comes, basically, is the claim. But I do find it interesting that in another part of the elders' manual, it explicitly says that the elders in the congregation should go to the police department and become familiar with the police in the area. In case of a fire or something, they have a rapport with them that they can like work together and try to, solve inter-community problems together without too much friction, if you will. But not for child abuse cases. At this point, in my opinion, I think that the reason that it's playing out like this is because this is a glaring, obvious, stupid, useless loophole that didn't need to exist. And when pointed out, the Watchtower Society got super defensive, and they didn't want to make it look like they were caving to apostate pressure, quote unquote. So they've just straight up refused to make any of these changes. This whole two-witness thing kind of came from the Bible, but not really. This whole two-witness thing was intended for like civil matters. Like somebody sells you a donkey, you need to have two people there to witness the transaction and verify that you gave the money to them and they gave you the donkey or whatever it was. It was never, it was explicitly, it says in that section explicitly, this is not something that you should use, the two-witness rule, in cases of rape or murder or some other harsh things. And the Watchtower Society is explicitly using it in those cases anyway. So my overarching point is that Jehovah's Witnesses are to blame for this whole thing. And it's a weak point within the organization because it's actually making people leave.
Baptist asked this question based upon Matthew, the 11th chapter, verses 2 and 3.
Please, I beg of you.
Wait, what was that one?
On Matthew, the 11th chapter,
Wait.
John the Baptist asked this question based upon Matthew, the 11th
Oh, don't let shunning kill your loved ones. Yeah, fair enough.
chapter,
Kills all
verses
of
2 and
us.
3.
Please, I beg of you. Please.
And then we'll get into
You see the kids here? They're listening. They're listening to this. They're taking it in. They're thinking about it. Again, I don't actually believe in Kingdom Hall crashing. I think it's more destructive than constructive. But, since it happened, maybe we can derive some good out of it, right? Maybe these kids are mulling this over.
our Bible reading this evening, and then we'll apply yourself to the ministry. We'll get to see our second and third return visit.
Is there going to be a third Kingdom Hall crasher? Because we're only halfway through this video so far, this specific episode.
As that's highlighted tonight, and then how that progresses to a Bible study. And then we'll look forward to living as Christians. We'll have a video refresh all of those Torah and loaded tests.
Yeah. They're coming to all of the new people who they're unfamiliar with, and they're telling them to leave. Yeah, because they suspect that some shit, because they think they're going to stand up and do this Kingdom Hall crashing too, which is probably a fair assumption. I mean, the dude filming it is, very obviously Kingdom Hall crasher, right?
Australian world
and then we'll conclude with our Bible study. So we'll invite Brother Cotton up to open our meeting.
Oh, I remember this. The Watchtower Society was basically refusing to turn over documentation, their list of child abusers. They have a list of child abusers, and they were refusing to give it over, if I remember correctly. And they were being fined like thousands of dollars a day until they agree to just turn the fucking list over. I don't remember what came of that. It was like a contempt type of deal.
And because they will not release the data, because pedophiles in the congregation.
For the average person, what I have here in my hand may just seem like a regular bottle of water.
He's going to talk about
What about someone who's been without water for 2 days? Probably the most useful.
It's like really hard to understand. Let me see if I can kind of separate them and figure out what they're saying here.
For the average person, what I have here in my hand may just seem like a regular bottle of water.
He's going to talk about
What about someone who's been without water for 2 days? Probably the most
They're being fined $4,000 a day for not releasing their pedophile list, she says. Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and go. All right.
And the guy filming is being told he needs to leave. All right, let's go outside. Let's go ahead and go.
In our Bible reading this week,
Let's go. Go ahead and follow her. Let's go, man.
we're going to consider
Yeah, we need to go.
Jesus,
Dude is just refusing. Wow.
We need to go.
pedophiles. Why would you call
the
him?
one that refreshes our minds.
Let's go ahead and talk about that outside.
Our spiritual
You ready to go?
Unless there's
Come on.
take advantage of this type of
Okay, we'll follow her out.
refreshment that Jesus has to offer,
Are you safe?
just as valuable to our lives.
Huh? Come on outside.
Let's go ahead and jump right
Let's go.
into it. Read our first scripture.
Imagine being the sorry son of a bitch on stage right now, trying to like give a talk in this. Oh my God, that would be like so difficult.
Last time
Matthew
I
chapter
asked
10,
okay?
at verse 29 and
Go.
30. And let's take a look at what kind of refreshment Jesus has to offer
You
us.
understand?
Please follow us out.
Okay, go ahead and go.
Here in Matthew chapter 10.
So what the deal is, folks,
Oh my God, now he stands up.
is that
Deal. It ain't no deal.
we're concerned about the two-witness rule and how it protects
Let's go ahead and
pedophiles.
go. Let's go.
The
ahead and go.
Watchtower
Let's go ahead
organization
and go. Let's go.
Does not protect children properly.
Go ahead and go. Let's
You
go.
can Google.
Let's go. Let's go.
Candace
Let's go.
Conti?
Let's go.
Go ahead
Let's
and
go.
go.
How you doing?
Candace Conti, one of the Watchtower Society survivors who was given benefits or given compensation legally in a court of law for what she suffered at their hands. California court guts child abuse ruling against Jehovah's Witnesses. Candace Conti drew worldwide attention in her fight against Jehovah's Witnesses when a jury awarded her $28 million in damages, the largest verdict for a single victim of child abuse against a religious organization in U.S. history. The amount was later reduced to $15.6 million, including $8.6 million in punitive damages. Wow, dude. So punitive is we want to discourage people from ever doing this again, so we're going to find the shit out of them so that they don't, so that other companies learn from this. And compensatory is this person just spent money on like lawyers, on protection, you know, whatever, on having to move because you harass them or whatever else. And we're ordering you to compensate them for that. Anyway, wow, man, she got a lot of money from them. Deserved, of course. Fascinating.
Let's go. Let's go.
You can Google.
You're not invited here. Let's go now.
And they're coming.
Okay.
Okay.
At the time when Jesus
So Google everything you can about this religion.
This is coming now. So
Stop your shunning of your loved ones.
points out that at the time when Jesus said this
The one that really hits me hard is shunning. That's what I focus on the most. That's what would get me. That being said, you know, the child abuse thing, that hits home too. And it hits home hard for a lot of other people, not just me. So maybe they should zero in on those. I certainly wouldn't advise them to focus on doctrinal differences because Jehovah's Witnesses are so steeled against that at this point that it's kind of fraught, in my opinion.
Two sparrows are small birds cost.
Please do your research, folks.
What is there?
Do not follow the two witness rule.
Not the wage a man could have earned in 45 minutes of work at that time.
Stop using the two witness rule to protect
Jesus
that
said at
guy.
another point in his ministry that 5 sparrows could be.
Like, most of these people, I don't even think that these people aren't bad people necessarily. You know, the Jehovah's Witnesses, they're not bad actors. They're not acting in bad faith and intentionally, maliciously doing anything. The problem is that they're following the rules and expectations of this organization, and it's toxic poison. Why would you tell people in your elder's handbook not to call the police, or explicitly not tell them to call the police in the book for cases of child abuse, but tell them to form a close relationship with the local police for fire safety? Really? That specific point that I just drew out about them not contacting the police for child abuse, but they are contacting the police for fire safety. That's a point that I haven't heard anybody else make, and it's a point that I kind of found while reading through the Elder's Handbook for when I was writing my book. But, you know, it doesn't really get more dead to rights than that, does it? It's pretty clear to me that Jehovah's Witnesses, the organization that is, are intentionally avoiding just solving the fucking problem.
Adios, folks.
And they lock him out. Wow, man. Anyway, yeah, tell me what you think about it in the comments. That's really fascinating. Maybe I'll do more Kingdom Hall crashing videos. Reason I did this in the first place is because I was watching what was going on with the memorial and everything. And it's around that time. It's memorial time. So tell me what you think.